Recently I was asked what the importance was in terms of recovery post-workout for recreational athletes involving stretching and rehabilitation and preparing for their next outing. As a pitching coach, I'm going to spend a little bit more time highlighting throwing athletes and the recovery process for them. I think when we start talking about rehab and post activities for anybody that's throwing, one of the first things that we're going to worry about is their internal rotation in their arm. So we're talking about the ability for their arm to come in here as they throw. As throwers, as anybody, whether you're playing softball with your buddies, whether you're throwing football, any activities like that, we're going to take our arm back into more of an external rotation, and we're going to gain more external rotation. And as we do that, we're going to have a tendency for the interior or the anterior, I should say, part of our shoulder capsule to tighten up, and we lose that range of motion. Where that's going to come into play for a lot of these recreational athletes is over time it's going to hurt their ability for their arm to slow down. So when your arm doesn't have the ability to slow down in the amount of time that you get it, you'll run into a higher amount of arm injuries within that. Some things that people can do is just what we call a sleeper stretch, where they lay on their side and they're going to internally rotate their arm. Typically post-activity, when you do this with anybody, you want to try and go at least 20 to 30 seconds to get a good stretch, allow your muscles to relax and go from there. Afterwards, the next day, it's also a good idea to get some sort of cardio activity in terms of a run. What that does is that starts to generate some range of motion back in your shoulder as well, and just the general running movements of your shoulder has a tendency to loosen up over time from what you're doing there. Other things within throwing athletes and athletes in general that we like to highlight with our guys, probably the next would be hamstring. Once the guy's hamstrings get tight, there's a residual effect in other parts of their body as well. So just the basic hamstring stretches are always good to help decrease some of the stress on the lower back and other areas like that. And then also zeroing in within pitching or any throwing activities, it's also important to keep your overall hip internal rotation, which will also help decelerate your arm and do different things like that. So you want to spend probably anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes with some static stretching of 20 to 30 seconds, focusing in on your hips, your hamstrings, and your internal rotation with your shoulder.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there? Holding my hand, I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind. Kryptonite, yeah!
Hello there, didn't see you. So it's important to do some stretching before recreational activity and any sort of activity that you plan on doing that day, mainly because for one, you're going to increase flexibility, which will increase the extensibility of your muscles, therefore decreasing your chance of injury. That's the number one reason most people stretch. A lot of people don't realize stretching is important every day. Usually you're supposed to stretch it a lot of times before you go to sleep at night, so when you wake up, your muscles are ready to be hydrated, because a lot of times when you go to sleep, you're going to wake up, you're already 10% dehydrated at that point in your day. Automatically you need to start drinking water to get those muscles hydrated, so when you start stretching, you have more effective stretching, especially before activity, so you do not have those injuries. He didn't stretch, therefore he's laying on the table now. Keeps my job safe, but it also helps you guys to not be in here, to help you do better at your sport.
Imagine what waits for you across the line. You thought you had me, but I'm still here standing. And I'm tired of backing down.
Okay, if you want to get the leg and the arm at the same time, you grab the leg out to the side and wiggle your body blade.
When your dreams all fail and the ones we held are the worst of all, and the bloods run stale, I wanna hide the truth. I wanna shelter you.
You should stretch because we said so.